Hello, this is Tom Lassio, co-host of the Recruiter Roundtable, partner and founder of Palmer Roads Executive Search, and host of Ask a Headhunter Live. So welcome. So nobody's here yet, so I'll monologue a little bit. For those of you who have seen some of the videos I've put out past couple days, the Comet browser by Perplexity is a game changer. It can work directly on your browser, it's their browser, directly on the web page. You can get it to interact with the web page. You can get search LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You can get it to search on directories on companies. You can get it to reply to emails, send LinkedIn messages, put together all different types of stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. So give it a try. It's $200 a month right now because you got to be on the Perplexity Pro subscription, but you can reach out to people who are giving you invites. You still need the $20 subscription. And if you text me or email me or call me, I'll give you a link where you can get it for $17 for the entire year. We got two guests already, so let's let them join now. We got Trent Tate. Welcome. Trent is joining us, and Mike McAvoy. Welcome, Trent, and welcome, Mike. Trent,
Hello.
always a pleasure. You're a regular here. We got a new guy, Mike McAvoy. Welcome.
Got it.
And welcome to Ask a Headhunter Live. I was just talking about the Comet browser. So since Trent's a regular and Mike's a newbie, we'll give Mike the floor. Mike, you're on mute if you're trying to talk. Welcome to Ask a Headhunter Live. What can I answer for you, or are you just here to listen?
I'm actually just here to listen. I've been recruiting for a very long time, and more recently, I was part of a layoff, workforce reduction, and I've had a company kind of on the side for a while, and haven't invested a lot of time. And I saw this, and I thought it would be interesting to see what I can learn from people that have been doing this for a while.
Awesome. Hey, no, we love it. People come and listen. It's fantastic, and then you can jump in at any time. Trent's a regular. He comes on all the time when I do this on Tuesdays. And we talk about everything and anything that deals with recruitment, staffing, applicant tracking systems. Last week, we were messing around with the Comet browser. So hopefully you'll get some insight as people join. A couple more people usually join. And Trent, you want to start us off with anything?
I don't really. Well, I did have one thing about job-in, but I was just trying to figure out.
We can do that. Absolutely.
All right.
What do you want to know?
So I have sequences set up, and I wanted to test it on myself before I send it out to like 50 people. Is there a way that you can start the sequence right away instead of having it? You have set up in the beginning that I want to send this out at 8:15 in the morning, and
yeah. So your first it's your first. Hold on, I got somebody just texted me to join the group. It's when you set. Well, in fact, I'll set. Let me grab the screen, and firstly, Huff's trying to get on. Let me open up Job-in and see if I can answer your questions, because I don't know exactly. I think I know what you're talking about, but I want to make sure I have the right one. So let me jump into Job-in real quick, and see if we can get an answer. So let me share my screen. Can we see? All good?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. Give me a chance to. I've been jumping back between this and the Comet browser. So,
how's that Comet browser going?
Dude, once I figure out how exactly here comes Hufflog. Once I figure out how to actually do the prompts the right way every time, because that's really what it comes down to. When you're talking to AI and you're having the conversation, and when you're putting the prompts in, if you mess up a little bit, it screws it up. But so far, I've kind of figured out how to talk to it to get it to reply to LinkedIn comments, to get it to send LinkedIn messages, the search navigator, kind of a little bit, right? I haven't done any really deep dive searches on Navigator with it, but it definitely has the capacity to do it. I got it to search on Job-in too. So I'm slowly working my way through it to see. Like I mess with it for about 2 hours every day. I have this new thing that I'm trying to do, like 5 hard tasks a day to turn them into habits. And messing with comments, not one of them yet, but I'm going to add it to that once I get done one of the other ones. So let's jump over. So for people who are joining, Huff, hey bro, welcome. Leslie, welcome. So what Trent wanted to know is, see this weight right here, Trent?
Yeah.
You get rid of the weight. That's all you have to do, right? So the weight right now is days. You could make it 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And it's a 5-minute weight, right? So you can change the first weight to whatever you want. So if you want to test it on yourself, don't put any prospects in it. Build out your cadence or however you're going to do it, right? Yeah. And then drop yourself in it, or a fake profile with another email address you have. That's what I do. I use my son, right? But I put my personal email address. I have Cayman Alassios and Loxo, and Alassiot@gmail is that email that my personal email. So that's the one I use to test anything, to see how stuff runs. So that's you just change the weight and you're good to go. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, exactly what I talked about. I had a sequence set up. I didn't have anybody dropped in it except me, because I wanted to see what the message looked like. So
you got to make sure that you turn it on too, right? So
when
you go it automatically goes on. I can't remember.
When you go to those three what do you call those things up the top right? Those Oh no, I'm wrong. I was wrong. It's under sequences. Yeah.
Oh, right there. Pause all. Right.
Yeah, pause all. Or
it's not. Yeah, that's not it. You want that to be implemented. I think.
It's that one.
Oh, it's this one. That's right. Yeah, that's the play. That's the trick. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Yeah. So you can make the sequence you want. Drop yourself in there. Run it. If it doesn't look right, pull yourself out. Turn it off. Readjust it. Drop yourself back in, turn it back on.
All right.
Got it?
Yep, got it. Thank you.
Of course. What's up, Huff?
I've been told to say I'm having all the fun.
You're having all the fun?
All the fun. That's what I've been told.
So did you look into setting up your MCP server on TypeYourMind?
No, I haven't reached out to you to do that yet either. But I did. I've been looking at a lot of stuff. I'm so brain dead from everything I've looked at.
Ernie's joining us. Let me grab Ernie. Well, maybe not. I just got a thing that said somebody wants to join. And
so I understand there's an API for Loxo, Jobin, that allows you to to export, but you can't, there's not an API to import.
For Loxo?
Jobin.
Oh, Jobin. Not an API to import. When you say import, what do you mean?
So, there's APIs for exporting and importing information.
Yeah.
Right. They have an API for export only. They do not have one for import. So if you were trying to do an automation that would then take, say, data and populate the contacts, you still would have to do either a Chrome extension edition of contacts from LinkedIn, or you would have to do a CSV type import.
So you're saying that the API is for export only?
Yep.
Not import.
Right.
Why would you need an API import?
Let's say that you're massaging getting data, massaging data, combining it, all that stuff, and then you wanted to bring it into Jobin in order to now put it into various sequences so it could run through Jobin.
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, and the CSV doesn't work for you?
Well, it's manual.
No, you put it into Zapier or Make or N8N and run it that way, right?
Well, how do you get it into Jobin?
That's going to have to be. You'll have to think. I'll have to think about that one because that have to be an automation because you'd have an option in Jobin, right? So if I'm in Jobin and I go to contacts, I can import. I
think you would do sourcing.
No, I can import in under contacts. I can import. Let's see. I don't know where it is, but there's an option to. Let me do this here.
Is it under your user account on the right, top right, or is it
right here?
Yeah. So.
So they're sourcing then, I guess. Right. So import your data files from CSV. Right.
Yeah.
So you would probably have to somehow set up an automation, but maybe you would need the API to do that. Maybe you're right. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one. Hey, Heather, welcome. That's a good one. I'll reach out to Michael, but you want to be able to automatically import a CSV file or similar into Jobin somehow.
Yep. Well, if I'm going to use Jobin for automated outreach, sequenced outreach. Yep.
Yeah, because if you're setting up the sequences, the problem that I have, I like Jobin sequences because you can do the connection request, right? And then the messaging. I think that's really good. And you can kind of mix it up a little bit and do the if this happens, that happens. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing.
Have you used any other tools for outreach sequencing to LinkedIn or email?
No, this is the only one I've ever used that uses LinkedIn, right? So I've used, well, I say that Loxo had LinkedIn messaging as part of it. I checked out Sourcewell a couple different times. The problem with Sourcewell is it's not as automated as they make it out to be, right? So Sourcewell does not set up LinkedIn connection automations like they tell you do. You actually have to do them by hand, kind of, right? It's a copy paste kind of thing. It does not do the automation. The cool thing, and for those who are watching about Jobin, is I can set up a sequence. Now, you're throttled because of LinkedIn. You can only send 50 connection requests a day if you have a premium like a Navigator or Recruiter account, right? So you can only
send 50 out a day or 250 a week, and you're just saying 50 a day. Can you not send more than 50 a day?
I'm pretty sure it's 50 a day, 250 a week. I don't think you can send 250 on one day.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure about that. So you are throttled on that. So when you're setting your sequence up, right, you only want to put 50 prospects in a day if you're going to use a connection request as part of your cadence. And I think connection requests are fantastic as part of your cadence. So I highly recommend it. That's why I like Jobin, because you can set it up. So one of the things you could do is let's add a, let's do this. So click the plus sign. Where's the plus sign? Where's the plus sign? Really, guys? Sorry about this. Let me go to one that's already. Okay, so invitation on LinkedIn, right? You can customize this, which is really cool, right? So you can it says bypass weekly limit. I don't think this works anymore, right? So where's the customizable? Maybe because this is on, it won't let me. So anyway, you put an invitation here that says, "Hi, my name's Tom. I'm a headhunter. I got a great opportunity for a bottle washer in Chicago, $80,000 base salary." Now, depending on what the person does, if they accept, right, then you can have them send them a message. Right after that, you can end the sequence. You can call them, whatever you want. If they don't accept your invitation, you can wait. Like on this one, we have it waiting a day, right? And then you send them an email. That's if you have their email address, right? So that's how I try to set these up. And the way that I do things is I send a connection request. I wait 24 hours. Anybody who accepts my connection request, they get moved into my short list in my pipeline, and then I call them, right? That's the next step. Anybody who doesn't accept my connection request, I wait and see what's going to happen. And after a day or two, I'll send them an email that says, hey, I sent you a connection request. Here's some more information about the job. And then if they don't respond to that, I call them. That's kind of like my old school way of doing things, okay? But with the way that these sequences work, there's a lot more you can do if you're big into the email sequencing type of thing. You can wait, send them an email, then you could send them another email, and then you can withdraw the invitation after 2 of those and then still send them another email, right? You know, because you don't want your invitations wound up. You can send them a message on LinkedIn after they accept. And because they've accepted their first degree connection, Jobin will automatically extract the information. So most chances are 99% chance you're going to have an email for them. Then the next thing is you can wait, right, a day. And if they don't respond to your message, you can send them an email. And then if they don't respond to your email, you can wait a day and send them. Now remember your first degree connection. Now you can send them a LinkedIn message that says, hey, you accepted my connection request. I shot to that message on LinkedIn. I shot you an email. I'm sending you a message on LinkedIn because maybe you didn't see it. I'm a headhunter. I got this great opportunity, or whatever it is you want to do. Some the other things, if you're using Jobin as your ATS, there's some options to do stuff like enrich them because they have email and phone credits you can use, right? You can sign into a job if there's a condition, right? And your conditions are if they have a particular tag, something happens to them. If they have an email address, something happens to them. If they have a mobile phone, something happens to them. If you have the LinkedIn URL, something happens to them. If they're open to work, something happens to them. You can set up all these things. So even going back to this, the first thing you do is send a connection request, and then you could set it up. If they have an email, send them a email. If they don't have an email, send them a LinkedIn message or whatever it is you want to do. There's a lot of different ways to build these out. You'll see on some of their they go here back to sequences. They have pre-built sequences, and this all-in-one. This is their pre-built one. You can kind of get an idea how crazy you can get with a sequence when they start building this out. See? So if it's a first degree connection, right? So you don't even have to check. If it's a first degree connection, then they'll send them a message. If they have an email, we'll send them an email. If they don't have an email, but they have an open profile, we'll send them a free email. If they don't have an open profile, we'll send them a LinkedIn connection request, right? So you can set it up that way. When you drop in 500 contacts or whatever it is, you're leaving the LinkedIn connection request towards the end, right? Because you only get 50 a day, and you're asking Jobin to go, okay, if they're a first degree connection, we'll just send a message, right? If they're not a first degree connection, but there's an email attached to the person, we'll send them an email. If there's no email attached and they're not a first degree connection, but has an open profile, we'll send them a free email. If none of that's true, we'll send them a connection request, right? So you can build these out however you want.
Yeah, I built a couple of these for outreach with some of the same logic and wait periods and conditions and so forth. Yeah, I was kind of getting at, how to get a list into it.
You're going to have to do the CSV import. Right now, that's all. And I'll reach out to Michael and ask him about setting up an API or do they know a way we could use Make or
because even when you do a CSV import, then you have to map it. So you've got to go through that mapping process also.
No, you don't.
No.
All you put in is their first name, their last name, and their LinkedIn URL. They do all the mapping for you from the LinkedIn URL, unless you have phone numbers or email addresses in it. So the only thing you would have to do if you had a CSV is put in, I don't even think you got to put in the names. They may require it. And that's what I do with Jobin now. I don't put any of the other stuff in
I would
it.
have email and phone. So if it'll automatically map that, that's okay.
Yeah. So that's the one thing when you come to contacts, like right now, or sourcing, add a person, import contacts. No, if you want to, oh, here it is right here. No, maybe that's not it. Hold on. There's a way where it's when you go to just add like one person, right? Like you just want to add one person to your group. Is it here? No.
Yeah, I wouldn't be adding one person. It would be.
You just drop the LinkedIn URL in. That's all you have to do. So when you do the CSV import, right? All you have to do, like it already, because I've done it before, it does this. All you have to do is make sure that the LinkedIn URL is assigned. That's it. And then start import. Nope. That one, email one, phone one. I thought the mapping was already done. Maybe I lied to you. I'm sorry. Smart link parser is this thing here. Hold on. That's it right there. God damn it. There goes there. So his LinkedIn's URL is there. And then like if you have an email, you can do work email. And then if you want to put this phone in, we can do it private telephone. I think that's it. Right. So if I had more, I'm just doing this real quick, but as long as that LinkedIn URL is there and I grab these two phone numbers, that's it. Import data, right? So smart linker, work email, right? Import data. Skip that, right? And then refresh results. And then as it's loading it, I can go and show you like these guys, company not defined, that's what they are. The mini profiles are the ones it's going to pop up. So if I go back and look at that CSV.
So when you do an import, you can't assign it to a sequence at the same time.
I didn't check to see if you could do that.
You have to tag. You have to create a tag and then go back and pull up the tag and then assign the people in that with that tag to the specific sequence that you want. Also, so you have to do that too.
So you can tag them when you do the CSV import.
What's that?
You can tag them when you do the CSV import.
Yeah, I always tag when I do that so I can retrieve them. It's the only way you can retrieve them.
No, you can retrieve them by insertion date. So when you go to add,
if I'm importing multiple CSV at the same time, so that's why I always tag them. Yeah.
So if I go here to the insertion date,
have you done any CSV imports in your 25,000, or is it mainly through LinkedIn searches? Or
I would say that's all my first 3 connections and probably a couple thousand CSV imports from SalesQL, and the rest are using their Chrome extension.
Okay.
So like insertion date today. Right now they're loading, but like to give you an idea, the Sam Kane guy, commercial estimator, it's got all his info, and eventually we'll put all that info in.
Yep.
Like
so in this case, without the tag, you would have to go select them by insertion date and then move them, assign them into a sequence.
Yeah. I mean, you could mass tag them right now, right? Because I could just go select all and then assign tag.
Mm-hmm.
But I think all these guys are already in there. So it's probably having a problem looking at them, trying to decide what to do with them. Because if I go by that tag,
but have you used any? You said you had not used any other outreach sequencing tools.
Loxo. I have used Loxo.
Yeah, Loxo's throttle is like 30 seconds per email.
I thought you could turn it down.
I think that's their throttle. It's not even a minute. I don't think. I think it's like every 30 seconds.
Is that bad or good?
It's not good.
Why?
Well, it's too frequent. You need to slow it down a little bit for deliverability. Dude, that's 15 seconds. Move that slider and see what it does. I mean, that's 5 seconds, 30 seconds. That's it. That's the slowest.
Is that, I see, I mean, are you're not using the, whatchamacallit though, are you? Like when I do
You mean the hoochamadiggle?
Yeah, the hoochamadiggle. So when I send an email, right? So I can send it via Mailgun. Do you have that option?
I don't even know what that is.
So Mailgun is a way to keep you from not using your main server, right? So it goes through Loxo server, Mailgun's Loxo server, but it looks like it comes from you. So the only problem with that is if you're lumped in with somebody who's a spammer, you could get in trouble. So the other thing I've told people is if you're going to do that, and I don't know if you do this, do you have multiple email domains that are similar to your company names?
Only one, and I haven't really used it, but I have the domain.
So put it here, right? Add that domain here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can have as many emails as you want, right? You're always going to have your default one, which is your main one. But like I own Palermo Roads Inc. and PRSearchLLC.com, right? I own PalermoRoads.com and PRSearchLLC.com.
So when you send a message, then you're selecting which one is already set up.
So when you set up your outreach, right? So when you go to do your campaign and you set up a new email here, you choose what you want it to come from. So if I had those other ones, I could say, okay, let all of them come from this, and I'll put 25 people in this, and then I'll put 25 people in this, and then I'll put or 50 or however you feel safe. And then what you would do is once you build out this first campaign, right? So we build this out like this.
Yep.
Okay, and we add it, and then we do this. Oh, not an A/B test. Sorry. We add another stage, which is a text message, right? And then we add another stage, which is an email.
What?
Then when this is done, right? We call this. Right? I hit save. Then when we go back here, I can duplicate this, right? I can click duplicate, right? And it's already built out, right? Yeah. All I need to do is come into here and change it to this. Okay. So now, and I can hit duplicate again or whatever and call this, test stuff duplicate. So you could have a whole bunch of the same and use the different emails that way. It's not as ideal as like using Lemlist, where you put 10 email addresses in and Lemlist rotates through them. right? So when you go to do this, you would just know, no, I'm going to put 25 people in this one, 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 right? So that way your 100 go out, but they go from 25 different email addresses to keep you from being a spammer. It's a little more, and you can do the same thing in Jobin as well, right? You can set this up the same way as Jobin. This is how you can do the multi, like,
well, I
email
think Jobin
domains.
Those settings overlay all your outreach.
Pardon me?
I think Jobin's settings overlay all of your separate sequences.
Yeah, but you can do the duplicate sequences and add multiple email addresses just like you can in Loxo. So remember when it says right here, what email address? You can add, here, change email sender. Oh, God.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. I was thinking LinkedIn versus email. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can add multiple emails. You can actually add, if you had an assistant, right? And you wanted to run a campaign through them with the connection request through them, not that it would build your network, you can have multiple LinkedIn accounts in here as well.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
Whoa. Wait, say that again.
You could have multiple LinkedIn accounts, right? You could, let's just say you had a client, you had 7 clients that were like, you know what, Huff, I want you to help me build up my LinkedIn connections, right? So send out LinkedIn connection requests for me. You could add their LinkedIn account to this and take control of it as a separate account and send emails from their email address that they gave it to you and send connection requests on their behalf. From
okay, so account. when you have multiple accounts and can you run the sequences for multiple accounts at the same time?
Yes.
And that requires what, an additional subscription for each account?
A tier, a little higher tier. To do that, you would need
and if it's going
right
out,
send LinkedIn on behalf. Sending link messages on behalf enables running LinkedIn operations on behalf of other team members in the work group who enabled share on behalf. On their connected LinkedIn account. You need the pro.
do that pop up again. Let me see what it said. Okay. So is that coming then, therefore, from the same IP address?
Yeah, which would be fine though, because you could have. Well, that's a good point. I don't know the answer to that question. It's something you'd have to talk to them about. And then you need unlimited linked email addresses. You need the Pro ATS as well. So the Pro plan we already have, and if you followed me and did the Pro plan, the ATS starter and the GPD starter, which is $60 minus $3, the ATS Pro you need to do for all the different email addresses if you want them.
Don't you, on a separate topic, use Clay for certain stuff?
I've messed around with it. I don't use it. I have a Clay subscription, and I'm learning more about it. I'm actually, it's kind of funny. Somebody hired me as a mentor, like coach, like recruiting coach, and I meet with them a couple times a month, and they are like all into Clay. And so after I coach them, they coach me on Clay. So this is Clay, and you can, like I messed around with some workflows, but you can find companies, right? You can source jobs, find jobs table, find company. There's so much you can do with Clay, but you have to pay. Yeah, the info can be rough, but what you have to do with Clay, and it really isn't worth it until you really understand how it works. Because let me go to like these edit plans and billing. So if you go to this plan right here, the Explorer with the 349 credits, right? It's 10,000 credits. you can get use API, right? So what's really cool about this is all the stuff that Clay charges you for in credits, you can use basically with ChatGPT. The only thing you won't have credits for is enrichment, but you can buy that through like SalesQL and use their API key. That's the really cool thing about Clay is they allow you to use API keys, right? So in these, let me find one of these. Clay starter table. Okay, so you can these are all the actions, right? And I can't show you because I need to upgrade, but you can monitor for job postings. If you add a row, right? And then in this column, what do we want to do? Well, let's add enrichment, right? So what enrichment are we going to use? Well, if we had the API, we would be using is it on here? SalesQL. It's not on here, so you'd have to set up with the API.
What about Smartly? Is that one you've used?
Smartly, Smart Leads. So okay, so Smart Leads. What this would do is Smart Leads. Yes, actually, what you would do. Okay, let's walk through this. So using Clay, let me go to a different one. Find people, right? So in the find people thing, right? So I found all these people that worked at these companies. This is their first name. This is their last name. This is their full name. This is their job title. This is their location. This is their company's domain. This was their LinkedIn. Okay, so I did this search. I found these people, right?
Inside of Clay.
Well, I used this. Yes, inside of Clay, it went to LinkedIn and found these people, right?
Okay.
Or you could upload a CSV. Either way, right? Once you have this and you add a column, what do you want to do next? Well, what I want to do next is I want to add enrichment, right? So you would add the SalesQL enrichment. Then from there, right? So let me see. You can use AI to what would you like AI to do? Draft a message to these people, right? And then after that's set up, the next thing would be find their email address. And then the next column would be, okay, send them all to Smart Leads with this message. I'm not as it's very difficult for me to show you because I don't have access to all the different actions because I don't pay for the top thing. But literally, there is so much you can do with this. It's ridiculous, right? In these columns, you can keep adding columns and keep asking it to do things. And on the action side, when you can use AI, but you can, if you had access to the see where it says perplexity and all that, but if you had the API key, you just use your own AI. You use ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, and allow it to do the stuff for you. Like here, Anthropic, right? Generate text. It says 5 cents a row. But if you had the API and were using Claude yourself, you don't have to pay these credits. That's the thing I'm trying to explain to you is if you pay for the $3.49 thing, then you can use API keys. API keys save you so much money because credits
just like you do with Typing Mine, for example.
Correct. Yeah, because look, if I want to search this,
it's kind of an aggregator of your APIs.
Well, look here. Look how much these credits cost. Okay, these are the credits of Clay credits. To find a personal mobile number, they charge you 13 credits. Right? So that's the thing that you can look at let's see, AI. If you use Dale to generate an image, it's 1 credit per row. If you use ChatGPT to generate text, it's a half a credit per row. But if you have the API key, you can just use ChatGPT to generate the text for you. And you can have a row that's search through the person's profile, and if it has a bachelor's degree, right, move them to the next one, right? That's the thing about this.
Move them to the next one. What do you mean? Move them to
the next column, right? So you sort. Let's say we search all these people, right? And then the next thing that I'm going to ask you to do is search all these people, and anyone who has a bachelor's degree, move on to the next column. And the next column would be enrich them for a phone number. And then the next column would be, okay, now Anyone who doesn't have a phone number doesn't move on. The ones who have phone numbers move on, right? Next thing is enriching for email addresses, right? There's steps that you can take using through Clay to build you out a list. At the end of the list is done, then you use the integrations to send it to Lemlist or Smart Leads or wherever to send out your emails. The idea behind Clay is you're building out everything before you send it to Smart Leads or Lemlist or whatever. There's some issues with stuff. Like we were doing a search the other day, find everyone on LinkedIn, the ambulance chasing, right? So I went on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, put in the parameters. He went on the Clay, put in the same exact parameters, and got 10% or maybe 15% of the profiles, right? It wasn't doing the searches properly. So you have to be really careful. So if I was going to do the ambulance chasing on using Clay, I would do it on Navigator first, grab it with job in, export it as a CSV, drop it into Clay, and then do all the stuff that I'm going to do, right? So it's just a matter of what Clay information gives you. Like Heather was saying, it was rough. You have to be careful, right? But building out Clay sequences, and then also did you talk about like Apify?
I mean, it sounds like you're building out almost a workflow here.
Kind of, yeah.
If you get the data, put it into Clay, and then tell Clay to if you set up the parameters in the columns, that once you put in the initial stuff, it'll automatically populate the other columns based on the conditions.
Correct.
For you, and then I guess you end up with the end product. The next thing would be, okay, once I have that, I might have to manually take it and send it somewhere else, right? Wouldn't be automatic, but at least
it would be automatic. No, it would be automatic. It would absolutely be automatic.
So then I could take it and say, okay, now put it back into a CSV or something.
Well, it would say, send this list to Lemlist, or send this list of Smart Leads to this outreach campaign. Because it integrates with Lemlist, it integrates with Smart Leads. So once that's all done, you would just hook up that integration and say, okay, now send this to Smart Leads outreach 1, 2, 3 coffee makers.
Mm-hmm.
And all those people would go in there, and then they would just start getting emails, because that in Smart Leads, for example, that's on. You'd have it on. You'd have the outreach on. So whenever someone got dropped in it, they would start getting emails. So you could set up these Clay things to also run nonstop too. Every time they find some new person, right, that fits all the criteria you were looking for, it'll pull them right through the system.
Oh, because you set up the criteria and find people, companies, etc.
Correct. Yep. Like you can use these too as well, in with Clay and with Make and with N8N. So if we go to LinkedIn here, right, this is a LinkedIn job scraper, and it costs $29 a month plus usage, right? So it's a free trial for 3 days, and he doesn't say what his usage is, so you have to find out what the usage is. Oh, subscription plan right here. So $39 a month plus 0.4 cents per compute unit. I don't know what that means.
So give me the use case and how you would use this then in conjunction with it.
So this one here.
So
LinkedIn
if I'm a
job
candidate
scraper.
looking for a job, or I were offering that service to help automate that for them, then I could set this up and have it go scrape jobs. I presume ones that are saved searches or whatever the criteria is.
Yeah,
somehow I got to do that. And then it would go get this information. Okay, then that is compatible with Clay to bring that into Clay. And I could say, okay, great. Here's the company. Now I want to go find the executives of that company.
So here's this one. We found the job, project engineer at Booth and Associates. Now from here, right, here's a new email subject, right? Like we even have a new email body, but we can even back it up, right? And add a column that's like find the most logical person as the owner or the hiring manager of the company before we even set up the email.
How would you do that?
Let's see, find jobs. Okay, so We come into here. Let's do the record 25. Oops. Right. And then we're going to, job title is going to be project manager. And remember, dude, I am not an expert. I'm not even a fucking novice on this.
No, you're a paid coach. You should know this
job
stuff.
Description has the word let's see, construction. The location is let's say Maryland 603. Let's get down to Annapolis. $25 of $537. Get rid of Maryland. 21. Okay, there we go. Right. So we're limited to this to 20. Right.
So this is searching real-time LinkedIn jobs.
And then recruiter has a recruiter, doesn't have a recruiter, posting date, companies, right? List of company identifiers, right? Limit results, employment type, full-time. Okay, and then we hit continue, right? Now here it's trying to sell me, right? So we'll fully enrich the company headcount growth, most recent news, website tech, whatever it is, right? I have 7. I only have 8 credits. Or no, how many credits do I have? Let's see. Continue for free. So now, right, we have this information. So what are the next actions? Right? We can export it, right? Share it as a template.
Well, no, we want to find the probable manager.
Okay, so then add a column. Oh, so the next thing would be okay, hold on. So find job tables, right? So then I know what it is. Oops. Sorry. We go back here and find people, right? But on the find people thing, we want to no, it was the one I just did was find jobs, right? What's today's date?
22nd.
This one, right? So can we want to add a find people to this, right? So
I haven't figured out how to add people either to the companies list or the job list. I think you can do it as an enrichment, but
there it is.
I had to print both the tables and then merge them in Excel.
So was that it? No. Yeah, so it's this find jobs table, right? And then you want to somehow add search companies from table. There we go. Search companies, find people
at these companies.
Find people at these companies. And then
but that's not your list.
Yeah.
What was the other option when you did that? It was find people. There were a couple other ones. I think it was on the ad, wasn't it? Find people from jobs at these companies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that. So again, like I said, I'm not an expert. So company name, rename column, edit description, change color text, go to parent column, filter on this column. No, that's not it. Search. Let me go back to Clay. Okay, I did it here. Here's one that I did it for, right? So if it loads, right? I found people from the company data. I don't remember how I did it, but I did. Right.
But
so I started
the data you found it from was not from jobs, but from companies, right?
Yeah, so I found find people from the find jobs table.
Oh, there you go.
Right. So how I did that, I don't remember.
Wait, back up. Where did you find that from? That pop up? Where'd you get that?
This is these are all the ones that I did before, right?
Oh, okay, so, got it.
So we have this find jobs, right? So here,
right.
Actions.
But then you pulled up another one that you'd already done, which was to find people.
Yeah,
from.
And then you'll see, right, like right here, find people from the find jobs table.
Okay.
Right. So here's the find jobs table. I find people from the find jobs table. So somehow I was able to find people based on a certain criteria of vice president or CEO or whatever from these things, right? So we did a find jobs and then found the name of the company, right?
Then find people from the jobs.
And I found the people from the company. So I could say, hey, I heard you had a job for.
But what we're trying to determine is, who that would be. But you obviously selected VP as a criteria. Okay.
Yeah, because I was messing around with this, trying to figure it out. Right. So, so can I add this to a workspace? But see, like you could find people that find companies, find jobs, draft emails with AI, right? And then import the CSV. There's templates. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. And I'm very sorry for anybody who's watching or anybody's on. I don't remember exactly how I did it, but there is a way to take a find jobs table and then find people from it.
Yeah, I guess what I was asking, it looks like maybe you could create separately the different tables you want, maybe combine them and then go and enrich that data.
Here it is. Find jobs table, right? So job title, C-suite, includes functions. So I'm going to do.
Now you're looking for jobs, not people with.
No, I'm on that thing, right? I just figured it out.
Oh, how you got the certain level of titles.
Okay, and then location, Maryland. No results. So let's get rid of this. Okay, there we go. So for those jobs we just found, I found the CFO at Pyramid Builders, and I found a president at MVN International. Apparently, a CVS job is in there for a project manager or something, right? So
these are the C-suite responses to those jobs, and you had 20 jobs that were there, and you've got 6 names, basically.
Yeah, so I've added director, right? If we get rid of, I should have deleted. Here we go. So now, like, there's Animum Health, Chesapeake Contracting, Executive Vice President, Chesapeake Contract, Senior Vice President, right? So in a perfect world, right? So when it came back over to here, this is the list, and got rid of CVS Health, got rid of Act Talent, got rid of Cyber Coders, get rid of I don't want to do anything in Fire Sprinkler. Get rid of them. House Buyers of America. Al Services looks like it's a recruitment firm. What's Anthem? I'm going to get rid of them and get rid of Atwell. So then row actions, delete those 10 rows. Okay, now we got actual companies that are in construction, right? So now, what did we say we were going to do? Is we were going to add search companies from table, find people at these companies, and then come down here. Nope, that was the wrong one. Hold on. I did actions. Aha, there we go. So find people at these companies, click on find jobs table, right? Select table.
You select the right table?
Thought I did. LinkedIn URLs. There we go. And then
how did you get that?
I just switched it to company domain. And then come back here to Maryland. So there we go. So 198. So we probably got to limit this down to
you did title before, or level at the top somewhere.
seniority.
I may have to go.
There we go. So I doing these things now. I got all these people, right? So for those companies, right? Oops, sorry about that. And hit continue. Import to existing table. See, like I said, I'm not an expert. So please again, contact support cannot import to the same company table being used as import. Right. So,
but you can just create a new one.
Create new table. Yep. And then somehow, company data table, right? So go to parent column is this, and somehow what you're trying to do, right, is have it so now you have this information and the job all together, and then be able to then the next thing would be, right, a message, right, new email, but subject, body, right, and then subject, job on LinkedIn.
We got people you don't.
Yeah, and we got people you don't, right? So there it is, right? And then here it could be get the email addresses, right? Or export, right, to HubSpot.
Well, at this point, I would put it back into a CSV to bring it because we have the. Do we have the contact?
We haven't enriched it yet. We didn't enrich it yet. Like I said, that was that you could waterfall it, right? And get all the contact info, or you could just use one of the other add enrichment, right? So enrich person, right?
Well, do you have their LinkedIn URL? So that's really what you need.
Yeah.
Because then I would put it into, at that point, bring it back into job and tag it, drop it into a sequence.
See, so it's enriching it, which is a waste of time because it's already have all this, right? But just to show you what it can do. So it's adding more columns, right? And then you can take this right here and you can rename the column. You can add another column here where it's like add an email to it.
Yep. I need to go. Thank you.
Yeah, I just don't know enough about Clay, but go back to the roundtable. The first Harry Latos was on. Go to the first Harry Latos roundtable. He shows you actually how to do the one where you find the jobs, then find the people. He shows you the whole thing.
How long ago was that? When is that one?
It was you're gonna make me look that up.
Can you not search that?
Most popular. This one right here. Oh, because it's on my my old thing. So so in the first season, I can't search it because I have the old because it used to be on my YouTube channel, right? The Palermo Roads YouTube channel, and I switched it when we did this. So Loxo, speakers and best. Just try this. Yeah, that one here.
Can you
season 2, 13?
Can you copy that link? Drop it in the chat.
Yes, please. I want to watch that too.
Yeah, he's on Appify. He because he comes to Clay. He even shows. Is this the Clay one? He does. He shows you on Appify how to do it. He's telling you to upload this into clay, and he's showing you fine. This is a clay now. He's uploading. He went to Apify first and did one of those scrapers to find, and then so there's a clay table where he's got.
Were there 2 videos or just that one?
There's another one. This is the first one though, that it has the information. I don't know what the second one was. He might have come on beginning of season. Let me look at this. Yeah, he didn't come on the first season, so it's definitely the second season. Okay. And he was on twice as a guest speaker. So, Chatterworks, Seamless AI, Nebula, season 2, 13. Oh, and then season 2, not 29. Automation Tacular. So season 2, 29, which is this one. And he does the clay and stuff as well. He shows his system that he uses for sending eat outreach. There's a clay table, so he does walk us through how to do clay.
Okay, great.
But now I remember the Apify is the one he showed us the first time on the first video. So if you want to learn clay at Apify, watch those 2 videos.
Great, thanks. Good to see you.
Peace out.
I do have to run. Tangeray's calling me.
We got a new Steve Rock. How are you, my friend? Did you have a question, comment, concern? And Heather, do you have any questions or comments, concerns?
Nope, just sitting in again. Sorry, I'm.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Because we're at 6:07. My granddaughter's coming over. If you guys have any other questions or want me to show anything before we leave, I'm more than happy to do that. I can show you guys the comment browser. That's the new and improved. Everything everybody's talking about right now. I could show you Jobin. I could show you Clay. I could show you Apify. This is Heather. You were saying so. This on Apify, right? So there are ones that are free, or you can try out. So if you did the LinkedIn posts, LinkedIn ads, LinkedIn company URL, you can look through these and see like what the cost is and whatnot. But like if we did the LinkedIn job scraper one, try for free. And this is what Harry was showing us. I have an account. Well, you have no idea. I know I have an account. Oops. No, I have an account. Log in. So you can look like here if we put in structural, structural. Job location, Maryland. Company names we don't care about. Company IDs we don't care about. Published. Past month. Total rows, let's do 10. On site, job type, full time, and start. So now it's running because we have the free thing, right? And if there is information, I made it really general, but you can see what it's doing. and it show you everything it's doing. So hopefully we'll get some information. There we go. Right. So we got mechanical engineer Rockville, construction technician, right? Scientist, structural analysis, lead structural engineer. So now we have this information, right? And then from here, right, it's in a table, and then we can see all the fields that were available, experience level, and then from this, you take it over to whatchamacallit, right? Export into a CSV, and then hit download. And that data set's there. And then while I have all these jobs, right here, these are all the jobs, right? I opened up in an Excel, not in a numbers, but it shows you that. But it's a CSV file, so that we can now upload it to Clay and then try and enrich it, right? Or whatever you wanted to do with it. So if you watch the 2 episodes I dropped in the chat, Latos is way fucking better than I am using Clay and using Apify. But these things run really quick. It shows salary sometimes, work, the sector. So and when you start using these, you'll get the, okay, we're only going to choose construction next time, right? Because I don't want assistant project manager at iHire X. Some of these are recruiters too, so that's the other thing too. Like if you could exclude recruiters somehow, I think they allow you to do that. But again, it's just a matter of figuring it out. So when you watch those 2 videos, Latos is really good about walking you through how to do that stuff. And all these actors on LinkedIn pay for usage. I got a trial right now, and $29.99 a month. TikTok data extractor. I mean, there's all different types of scrapers you can try when you come into the Apify store and put in what you're looking for, right? You could like put in Apollo, right? APOLL. For those who use Apollo, it'll scrape the leads for you out of Apollo, so you don't have to pay the Apollo credits or something. I don't know exactly how it works, but that's the kind of stuff that's in here. I don't even know. Do they have anything for locks though? No. ATSs. Let's see what they got. So you can scrape for lever. Heather left. So anyway, so Apify for like doing large campaigns or scraping jobs. I don't recommend that. I'm not a job scraper, but like this one, you can get it to find people for you. What information? Look, LinkedIn job scraper, affordable, reliable job scraper now on Apify, and you can scrape the jobs and then download them into CSV. I mean, for those of you who like doing that, it gives you all this information, and then you can take the information and enrich it through Clay, set up a workflow, and then send it to Lemlist or Smart Leads and say, hey, I got an MPC for that operator job title that comes off of this. He's got a great background in X, Y, and Z, and then do it from there. The stuff that Latos shows on there is a lot better than I do. I don't know a lot about this, but you can see the kind of data it gives you, whether you bring it in a JSON format or you do it in a CSV or Excel or whatever. What else? This is the Clay browser, or the Perplexity Comment browser. I got it to Search Sales Navigator so far. I hooked up my email, my personal email into it. So when you go to the home stage right now, I can ask it, find important unanswered emails. And it's looking at my email box right now. And I got, budget. My 10 most recent unread emails that could be important, right? And there's a security alert, and then about changing your domain name from WordPress, right? So it's just bullshit, right? But then you can also say to it, when you open the assistant up, schedule a meeting between me and Becky Alacio for tomorrow at 4 p.m. And then it'll look through my database, right, to see if I have, oops, turn it off. It's going to look through to see if I have, oops, God damn it, stop. It's going to look through and find, I fucked up because God damn it. I'm going to start over because I keep forgetting to turn off my, okay, so then, and say, organize my tabs. It's going to group the tabs together by whatever it thinks it should, right? So, and it's going to tab groups right here. So unanswered emails, work tools, Gmail, Sales Navigator leads, right? And if I click on that, I can collapse them, open them, or whatever I want to do, right? So I come to Sales Navigator and just show these, right? And then I can ask it, of the Sales Navigator leads, who has bachelor's degrees? And it's going to look through these leads real quick and see who have bachelor's degrees. So if you had like 100 tabs open or whatever, you could say, hey, of those 100 tabs, who has the experience in mining or who has experience in whatever, right? So only 2 of these people had, so Devin Butterfield and Sammy, whatever his name is. So I can go to Devin and say he's the candidate I want to talk to because he's got a bachelor's degree or whatever. But your use cases are kind of just going to be for you in terms of how you would do it. But there's, even on OG LinkedIn, it's the same thing. If you're on OG LinkedIn, you can search here, like say, let's try. I didn't try this part. So Steve, let me see, put up here, project manager. I can search people, right? And then first degree connections, right? Now, I haven't tried this. I'm going to try it. Let's see. It might not work. Let's see. Can you search through my first degree connections with the title project manager and see who has a bachelor's degree in engineering? Okay, so it's going to be a pain in the ass because it's going to click through each one and look to see what degree they have. So this could take a really long time and actually possibly get you in trouble with LinkedIn. So probably not the best thing to do. But it gives you an idea. It's actually now searching through each one of these connections that have the title project manager and see who has a degree for me.
Do you think it would be possible to ask the assistant to vary the timing of searching the profiles to act more like a human end user as opposed to an automation?
I think you could, but I think right now, if you ask me, it's working at human speed. Like right now, it's working at human speed. The problem is, this is going to run for 100. So, well, 2 things. First of all, while this is doing this, you can't go on your other LinkedIn account. This would probably be okay. But also, I think LinkedIn gets mad if you look at too many profiles in a day, right? So if you were going to do this, it might be better to like say, narrow it down as best you could, right? So I'm going to stop the assistant here for a second. It could be better to like narrow it down, right? So if we go back to the results, right, and we go like narrow it down, right? Like come to all filters and say, oh, all my first degree connections in Washington, D.C., Baltimore area that have the title of project. So results. So what do we got? We got, okay. So now we could say, look through these for anyone who's got a bachelor's of science in civil engineering, for example. That might be a better use of it. Right. Gotcha. I'm still, like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out. I was kind of impressed because like, let me see. Can you look through the first 3 pages of this search and tell me how many people have bachelor's of science in civil engineering degrees? So he's going to do the same thing as go through each one and do this. And again, it's not ideal because it's going to take a lot of time. But ideally, this is something you could do and then go to lunch and then come back and have it already set up for you. Because the next thing you could ask it to, when you're going to add to the prompt, when you're done, take all of the LinkedIn profiles and put them into a CSV format for me or a list for me. And also find any available contact information on the profile and add that to it. Like you can do all of that because the prompts allow you to kind of, what is it doing? It's not opening up each one. So it's interesting. It's deciding which ones to look at, not looking at all of them. I don't know why. I'm trying to go. It'll tell me what it does when it's done. It's now on page 3 because I said to page 3. So only one person says Bachelor's of Science in Civil Engineering. I don't believe him. Maybe I was too specific. So again, it's not perfect, but as we start messing around with it and start learning what it can do, Bachelor's of Applied Science. Really? I don't believe that we look through all of them. There we go. Scroll through the first 3 pages of LinkedIn for each result. Check the visible details. Determine the person is a Bachelor of Science. I need to examine the profiles on page 1 and navigate through page 2 and 3. I found this guy. I'm back on page 1. I can see the pagination controls, but they're missing from the HTML. Now I can see the pagina. I can see Aaron Gardner is an associate's degree. And you continue more efficiently. Yeah, I don't think it went through each profile. So you might have to say, look through each profile on this page and log each one that has a civil engineering degree. Then go through page 2 and do the same thing. Go through page 3 and do the same thing. That's probably how you would have to do it. And the idea that I think about is if we could get it to work like that, we can click set it and forget it, right? So go to lunch, come back, you got a list to work on. This is the idea behind this is if it works properly and doesn't get you flagged by LinkedIn, it works like a virtual assistant, right? You tell your assistant, hey, find me all the LinkedIn profiles that are my first degree connections, or that if you told your VA, anybody that's a mutual connection of yours and I's, right? That would be my first degree, that are in Maryland that have a civil engineering degree, right? So with these keywords in their profile. The idea behind how the assistant works or the agent works is that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get it to do the mundane tasks that we don't want to do. And I think that this is the start of it. The more that we figure out how to use the assistant without flagging LinkedIn's detectors, that's when it'll work. So after doing that, now thinking about it, I think the next time I'm going to say, here is these first 3 pages of my LinkedIn. Please go through each profile on page 1, and anyone who has a civil engineering degree or architectural engineering degree, list them, right? And go through page 2 and do the same thing, and page 3 do the same thing. Once you're done, all the profiles that have civil engineering degrees or architectural engineering put into a list for me, and then see if they have any email or phone numbers on their LinkedIn profiles. Add that to the list as well. That's probably a lot to ask. I might just ask it. The first thing is to go through all 3 pages, open each profile, see if they have a civil engineering degree. If they do, add them to a list. Do that for page 2. Do the same exact thing for page 3. Once that's done, create that list for me. That's probably the best way to do it. But it's hitting 6:30, guys. I'm usually a hard stop at 6. Trent, Steve, thanks for stopping by. Everybody else who's watching, thanks. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, any of that good stuff, you know how to get a hold of me. Thomas@prsearchinc.com, the recruiter roundtable @gmail.com, and Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm everywhere. Other than that, we'll see you this Friday for the last Friday of the month open discussion on the recruiter roundtable at 12:30. Until then, don't forget to smile and dial. I'm out of here. Later.
Thanks, Thomas.
Thanks, Tom.
You got it.
Thank you.
Bye.